Sunday night in a winner-take-all cage match. One of the greatest athletes of our time will take on...
And that ride, what did it do to your adrenaline rush? Because obviously you're not jogging out to the mountain, you're in the car and you have to wait patiently until you do.
An old man. But no, wait, there's more. It's a bunch of old men. Whoa there, looks like we're gonna need a bigger gym locker room. Don't miss the fight of the century this Sunday night. Only available on pay-per-view.
Bryce Harper is no stranger to speculation. Ever since he became the youngest person ever to make the cover of Sports Illustrated's swimsuit edition at only 16 years old, he's become a magnet for controversy. And so far in 2016, he's only stepped into the spotlight again. See, at the start of the season, Harper launched his campaign to make baseball fun again, and some of the things Harper was pushing for include more in-game intensity, more showmanship with flipping bats, and 24/7 hour monitoring on certain presidents just because we have to make sure an event like Teddy Roosevelt winning the Nationals presidential race never happens again. Oh wait, no, that was Donald Trump's line. Anyway, Harper has come under a lot of fire for these comments, and Goose Gossage, Hall of Fame pitcher and professional Eeyore impersonator, just so happens to be more adept at spraying that fire than a pine tree in Alberta, Canada. And in an interview for ESPN radio affiliate in Chicago, Geese Snossage called Harper up. Well, he said that
Let it go to hell, because that's where it's headed. And you're going to let a young punk like Bryce Harper dictate this game? Are you serious? Do it as a professional. You can do whatever you don't have to style around the bases. You don't have to do all the frickin' antics because the camera's on you. That's the difference in the game today. No, I do not agree with him at all.
And while Duck Duck Goose may be getting more attention from the media than is fair for an off-the-cut rant, thanks to his status as a Hall of Fame pitcher and his incredible ability to use the word "you" 9 times in under 25 seconds, not in a Soulja Boy song, his opinions actually resonate with a lot of fans. And while there are other players re-energizing the game besides Harper, many are seriously concerned about the sudden perceived surge of theatricality in baseball. Take, for example, everyone's favorite peanut vendor, Goose Magic Head Gossage. Around the same time Gossage called out Harper, he also called out Blue Jays slugger Jose Bautista, and boy did he have some fun stuff to say.
Bautista's a disgrace to the game. He's embarrassing to all the Latin players that ever played before him, throwing his bat and acting like a fool like all those guys in Toronto.
Yeah.
Cespedes, same thing.
And this was, of course, after Jose Bautista's totally awesome, kick-ass, awe-inspiring, breathtaking, you wish you could be that cool bat flip. However, and despite Gossage's beautifully put argument for it, theatricality isn't some newfangled invention of baseball like the bullpen telephone. Furthermore, Bryce Harper's generation of bat flippers isn't the one ruining baseball. And while some may argue that millennials are currently ruining the country, their actual effect on how baseball is played has been pretty non-existent to this point. Although I would keep an eye out. Next thing you know, they'll be replacing those buckets of bacon strips in the dugout with some kind of healthy alternative like sunflower seeds. Like, what am I, some kind of goddamn honeybee? What has been changing, however, is how MLB is run. Or controlled, executivized, or whatever the hell Rob Manfred does. See, back in Swan's day, a batter could flip a bat, get hit by a pitch, get in a fight, and then go out the next day like nothing happened. On-field drama was entirely a self-regulated system by the players, and in the rare case someone actually did get hurt, they could always rely on one of the greatest achievements of modern medicine, greenies. And MLB executives were none the wiser, and in the rare case someone actually did get bothered by this, they too could rely on one of the greatest achievements of modern medicine. Crack cocaine. I mean, this was the 80s we're talking about after all. Now, however, MLB has stepped in as the middleman between player feuds. You want to throw at someone? You want to get in a fight? That's a suspension. You want to rely on one of the greatest achievements of modern medicine? That's a suspension. Well, if you're not careful enough anyway. I'm looking at you, Ryan Braun. And if you want a recent example of this, well, because of course you do, take the fight between Rougned Odor and Jose Bautista, which was surprisingly not set off by Bautista pronouncing Odor's first name wrong. Which I undoubtedly just did. No, and like any origin story nowadays, the one between Odor and Bautista is long, complicated, and requires you to sit through 5 very uncomfortable minutes of a child crying about their dead parents. And in the words of Frankie Ballard, it all started with an ice cold bat flip. After Bautista transcended consciousness last October, the Rangers eventually lost the series, and that left them with an entire offseason to practice throwing darts at a cut out of Jose Bautista's face taped to a wall. But it also freed them to travel to, places where they could learn how to place curses on Bautista's great-great-grandchildren. So of course, when they met up again in the regular season, the Rangers were looking to Kalima the shit out of Jose Bautista. And surprise, surprise, when former California Penal League pitcher Matt Bush entered the game on the series finale, he promptly unloaded a 97-mile-per-hour fastball into Bautista's shoulder. And Bautista, not one to be a punching bag, then promptly tried to disembowel Odor on a slide into second base, Ramsey Bolton style. Odor, also not one to be a punching bag, then channeled his inner Muhammad Ali and, well, beat the shit out of Jose Bautista. Following the beatdown, Daddy Manfred, or as he's known in Spanish, Papa Manfred, proceeded to intervene and ban the entire state of Texas from ever participating in a baseball game again for the next millennium. Houston was, of course, exempt from the ban because the intern who was supposed to deliver the news died from heat exhaustion getting between his car and the stadium. Okay, so he didn't really do that, but Odor did end up having to serve a 7-game suspension. And that is where it all comes together. See, by handing out suspensions for every fight and every intentional hit by pitch, Manfred is discouraging these things from happening, obviously. But what happens when you start reducing the punishment for doing something? Especially when that thing is the only preventative measure against another thing? Well, the other thing starts happening more. And that's exactly what MLB is experiencing right now. Bat flips are more common because pitchers are actively discouraged from throwing at batters, and they're policed when they do so. So, in reality, the increase in bat flips has nothing to do with Bryce Harper's generation, and everything to do with Rob Manfred's generation, who's responsible for cracking down on what deters bat flips in the first place. And further, wait a minute, Manfred and Gossage were actually both born in the 50s. So, does that mean it's actually Gossage's generation that's ruining baseball? Well then, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, unless Mr. Gossage, you have anything to say.
Disgrace to the game.
Well, I guess that kind of says it all. But remember,
Only available on pay-per-view.